When are y'all finally gonna wake up and admit the fact that we're murdering one another at an insane rate in this country? When are y'all going to admit this? What is it gonna take? Genuinely. How many rappers have to die on camera before we finally realize there is a problem? Genuinely. Because there's no accountability in the culture. This is an incident, a death that I just didn't think would come, man. I didn't think this would happen. So, unfortunately, Takeoff from the Migos was killed earlier this morning at around 2:30, and TMZ is saying that Takeoff, one third of the Migos, is dead after an early morning shooting in Houston. TMZ Hip Hop has confirmed. Law enforcement sources and multiple witnesses tell us that the fatal incident went down shortly after 2:30 a.m. That's when cops got the call for a man shot at a bowling alley called 810 Billboards in Bowling in Houston. We're told that Takeoff and Quavo were there playing dice when an altercation broke out, and that's when someone opened fire, shooting Takeoff either in the head or near his head. He was pronounced dead at the scene. So there's rumors out there saying, and I'm not going to repeat, I'm not going to post. I will tell you what the rumors are, but I'm not going to post them on this video. There are rumors out there saying that, Quavo got into some sort of an argument with the person he was playing dice with. It got heated. It got physical. Guns were drawn, and Takeoff was unfortunately shot accidentally, is the current narrative. A lot of people are blaming Quavo for the death of Takeoff because he maybe possibly started an altercation. You know how the internet is with blaming people for deaths. I'm not even gonna we're not gonna poke that because there's text messages that's promoting that idea. Apparently from people who were there. We're not gonna post that, but I just want y'all to know that. I want y'all to be aware of the fact that that's out there. Now, the question then has to be asked, y'all ain't tired yet? Are y'all genuinely not tired yet? How many more rappers have to die before we ask ourselves, is there a problem with the culture? Because at this point, it's downright embarrassing. How many rappers have to die before we ask ourselves, what the fuck are we doing with our culture? What the fuck are we doing with our culture? What's going on? Why are we murdering our own stars and our own rappers? Think about it. Just think about it, right? We had Young Dolph die. We had King Von die. Nipsey Hussle got killed. Mo3 got killed. Drakeo the Ruler got killed. JD Youngin got killed. PNB Rock got killed. And now Takeoff has been killed. All murdered. All violently killed through gun violence. It gets to a point where we have to ask ourselves, is this the future for our community? No other genre of music has this level of death and destruction left in its wake besides hip-hop. And people want to sit there and say stupid shit like, oh, well, being a rapper is just the most dangerous job in America. No, it's not. It's what these rappers choose to supplement their rap lifestyle with. These rappers who choose to be street or street adjacent. These rappers who choose to play dice with niggas that don't have anything to live for. That's what's dangerous. Rappers choosing to keep company with people that can get them killed. Rappers choosing to keep company with people that have nothing to lose. Rappers playing dice with random niggas who are willing to pull guns and shoot at one another over a dice game. A dice game. You shouldn't be playing a dice game if you're not willing to take a loss. Why are bullets flying over a game that everyone enters in knowing, I could probably lose a pretty good amount of money playing this game? Everybody should be capable of understanding that walking into this game. I am betting money. I could lose a lot of money. I'm willing to accept this. Instead, somehow, some way, guns get drawn and Takeoff gets killed. This is a constant theme in hip hop. And I gotta ask the people who are sitting there in the comment section saying that it's not a culture problem, it's not a black community problem, it's just a poverty problem, it's a this, it's a that. When are y'all finally gonna wake up and admit the fact that we're murdering one another at an insane rate in this country? When are y'all going to admit this? What is it gonna take? Genuinely. How many rappers have to die on camera before we finally realize there is a problem? Genuinely. Because there's no accountability in the culture. Everybody wants to blame everything outside of the culture. Nobody wants to take accountability. This is embarrassing. It's embarrassing. That man has a family And for some reason, people decided to record a video of him bleeding out from his head, dying. Same thing with the PNB Rock incident. People want to pull out cameras and record so they can get views and likes. No other group is doing this to their dead. No other group. We claim to respect these people. These are the most esteemed people in our culture. Entertainers, rappers. These are the most highly respected people in our culture. We respect them more than we respect politicians, inventors, doctors, lawyers. We respect these entertainers more than we respect anything else in our culture, and yet we can't even afford them the simple dignity of dying without a camera, recording them. We can't even give our dead any sort of dignity. Not any. Absolutely zero. What is going on? And if you call it out, people call you anti-black. If you call out the issues in the culture, you call out the violence, you call out the standard that we've set for ourselves, you're anti-black. If you talk about how black men are exterminating themselves, it's anti-black. So let me guess, the people pumping bullets into black men, they're not anti-black. But I'm anti-black for calling out the statistical insanity of us being 6% of the population. Black people make up 12%. Black men make up 6%. And yet we make up the majority of this country's crimes. That's so embarrassing. No, we make up half of this country's crimes. That's so embarrassing. Do you know what that means? It means that if we all disappear tomorrow in thin air, the nation's crime rate would drop significantly. Only 6% of this nation's population. If 6% of this nation's population disappeared tomorrow, the crime rate would significantly drop. That's embarrassing, dog. But we don't want to talk about this. And we're destroying ourselves. We're destroying ourselves. No help needed. No Klansmen. And you can't find no neo-Nazis, no Klansmen. Look, I'm not trying to sit here and act like police brutality isn't a thing. I'm not trying to sit here and act like racism isn't a thing. I'm sitting here saying, look, we know the truth. There's a reason why we fear each other. There's a reason why we despise each other. There's a reason why we don't trust each other. And this is why. Pulling guns on each other and killing each other over a dice game. What is Takeoff and Quavo doing hanging with these dudes who are willing to pull guns and fight over a dice game? What's going on? What the fuck is going on? But this is the problem. This is the problem. The culture is fucked up. It's fucked up. How many more rappers have to die? Because we know for a fact that normal average everyday black people, nobody cares. Black people don't care about them. Nobody else cares about them. The only way that black people are ever going to wake up one day and decide to solve this crime problem is if more rappers die. It's fucked up, but it's true. It's true. And even yet still, how many rappers have violently died in the last 2 years? And yet the culture is still in denial. Culture's still in denial, and we've lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 rappers to gun violence on this list that I have here, just here. That's not even all of them that we've lost to gun violence. That's just 8 that I have here. High profile rappers. Young Dolph, King Von, Nipsey Hussle, Mo3, Drakeo the Ruler, JD Youngin, PNB Rock, Takeoff. How many have to die? How many have to be murdered before we finally wake up and say, this is insane? We live in a first world, peaceful, advanced country, and yet we operate like this is Brazil. We're destroying ourselves. We're operating like this is, I hate to say this, but we're operating like a third world country. In the community, we're destroying ourselves. And nobody wants to talk about it because it's anti-black to call out black on black crime. Black on black crime has spiraled out of control, and it's showing in the industry. We're destroying ourselves. And if you ever speak up about it, the left wing, black people on the left refuse to acknowledge this. And I'm a liberal, but I gotta call it out for what it is. Y'all don't want to acknowledge the truth of self-extermination that's taking place here. And it's sad to see. It's sad to see. It's getting to the point where your life expectancy significantly increases the further you get away from your own people as a black man. It's fucked up that Takeoff lost his life over a fucking dice game. A dice game. Him and his uncle, Quavo, can't even go play dice without either them or somebody else starting an altercation over dice. This is fucked. This is fucked up. What's happening with our culture is fucked up. Violence over what? We're killing ourselves off. We're losing too many people. At some point, we got to step back and say, what the fuck are we doing? But every time you bring it up and try to talk about it, people say you're anti-black. It's like we want to die. It's like we want to exterminate ourselves. It's like it's insane. Takeoff was the last person that I thought would lose his life to gun violence. Last person. Always out of the way, super respectful, quiet, never bothered anybody, never had any issues come up. And I think he had one issue come up, but he handled it professionally. He didn't speak, he didn't say anything. He was calm. He didn't make any Instagram lives cussing people out. He was a good dude from what we could tell. And he lost his life over some ignorant shit. Yo, man. This is the state of the culture. And we all want to run from it because we don't like how it sounds, but people are actually dying. People are literally dying, and we're caught up on how it sounds and how it makes us feel, instead of actually addressing the problem and bringing this to a close. It's like fighting a losing battle. And that's why people like Charleston White are able to thrive the way that he does. Because we refuse to acknowledge the truth. And we'll continue dealing with the issues that we're dealing with until people decide to acknowledge the truth. It is what it is. It is what it is.